Hey, do you remember what we talked about yesterday in chapter 6? And he looks to heaven, he blesses it, and then he moves forward. If God's asking you to do something, stop looking at your abilities and start looking at his. Right. So again today in chapter 7, Jesus does sort of the same thing. He heals a deaf-mute guy, but how does he do it? He steps out of the crowd, he connects with the man, and then he looks to heaven. Why is that standing out to me so much? Well, it's repeated. It's almost like God is speaking into my life with a little bit of urgency. It's like God is saying, don't miss this. Stop looking at you, start looking at me. When God, the infinite God, the God who is in every single moment of creation at the same time, the God who knew me and knew I'd be reading this when it was first written by the divinely inspired authors, lays something out 2 chapters in a row and it stands out to me, well, I guess it's worth paying attention to. The thing is, I know in my life where God is calling me to put more trust in him. I know the areas where I've been pushing, forcing things, feeling like I need to make it all happen. I know where God's telling me to look at him. Now, as you're reading the gospel, are there any things that are recurring to you? Any themes where you feel like God is saying something over and over again? Are you noticing anything repeat itself? It's very possible that God's trying to speak something important into your life. If so, make sure you're asking God to show you why. I know, it's tempting sometimes to think I gotta find a new nugget every time. I gotta find something I've never seen before. But sometimes God's saying, hey, you can't see anything new until you get this straight. So Lord, why do I keep noticing this? What do you want me to see here? God wrote this gospel with you in mind. As you read it, remember, you're not just reading what he wrote. You're entering into God's revelation of himself. We need to read it with an expectation of encounter with him here.